Let me tell you something uncomfortable. You can be intelligent. You can be hardworking. You can have a good body, a good job, money in the bank, a degree on the wall, and a wardrobe that doesn't look like it was selected during a power outage. And people can still forget you 5 minutes after you leave the room. That's the brutal truth. You can walk into a room and have absolutely nothing wrong with you and still have absolutely no presence. Nobody hates you. Nobody's impressed by you either. You're just there. You're the human equivalent of background music. And if that sentence hurt a little bit, good, because today we're going to fix it. We're talking about charisma, not fake charisma. Not walking around pretending you're the main character while everyone else is wondering why you've suddenly developed a British accent. Not screaming, not constantly trying to be funny, not memorizing pickup lines, and definitely not becoming some fake alpha cartoon who thinks looking angry for 24 hours makes him powerful. Charisma is much simpler than that. Charisma is the ability to make people feel something when you're around them. People notice you. They listen when you speak. They remember what you said. They feel comfortable around you. They become curious about you. And when you leave, your absence is actually noticed. That's charisma. And here's the best part. You are not born with a fixed amount of it. You can train it. Research on charismatic leadership has repeatedly found that charisma isn't simply some mystical personality gift reserved for a tiny group of genetically blessed human beings. A large meta-analysis examining 76 independent studies and more than 36,000 individuals found meaningful relationships between charismatic leadership and outcomes such as task performance and group performance. And researchers John Antonakis, Marika Fenley, and Sue Liechty identified specific verbal and nonverbal techniques that can increase how charismatic someone is perceived. In one of their studies, executives who practiced these techniques saw their leadership ratings rise by about 60%. That's not magic. That's training. So if you've spent your entire life thinking, I'm just awkward, I'm just shy, I'm not naturally social, I'm not attractive enough, I don't know what to say, stop making that your identity. You aren't necessarily bad at people. You may simply have bad social habits, and habits can be changed. So here are 5 ways to build charisma. And I'm warning you right now, none of them involve sitting in your bedroom watching motivational videos for 6 hours while telling yourself you're going to become confident tomorrow. You've got to actually do the work. 1. Stop trying to impress. People make them feel interesting. This is the first massive shift. Most socially awkward people enter a conversation thinking, how do I make this person like me? Wrong question. That question puts you under pressure. Now you're monitoring yourself. How do I sound? Did that joke work? Was that stupid? Should I say something? Why aren't they laughing? Oh shit, they're looking at their phone. Am I boring? And suddenly you're not having a conversation. You're conducting a live psychological audit of your own performance. That's exhausting. And people can feel it. The charismatic person thinks differently. Instead of asking, how can I impress this person? Ask, what can I discover about this person? That's a completely different mindset. One is performance, the other is curiosity. And curiosity is powerful. Think about the most boring conversations you've ever had. Someone says, so, what do? You answer. Where are you from? You answer. How long have you been here? You answer. Then silence. Congratulations, you've accidentally created a job interview, and you're both unpaid. A better conversationalist doesn't just ask questions. They follow the thread. Someone says, I started boxing recently. The boring response, oh cool, conversation dead. The better response, seriously? What made you start? They say, I wanted to get in shape. Was it actually the fitness? Or did you secretly just want an excuse to punch someone? Now there's humor. They laugh. They explain. Maybe they tell you they got bullied as a kid. Maybe they say they watched a boxing documentary. Maybe they want discipline. Now you're talking about something real. You didn't perform. You explored. Research on conversation and social connection supports this principle. Studies and reviews of interpersonal communication consistently point toward follow-up questions, active attention, and genuine engagement as important ingredients in better conversations. Research on Arthur Aaron's interpersonal closeness procedure also demonstrated that structured self-disclosure can increase feelings of closeness between people. And here's the funny thing. People love talking about themselves. Not because everyone is narcissistic, because talking about your own experiences is naturally engaging. So give people room. Don't interrupt every 3 seconds because you've suddenly remembered a story about yourself. Someone says, I went to Japan last year. I went to Japan too. Stop, you have just stolen the conversation. Instead, what was your favorite part? Now they talk. And while they're talking, listen. Actually listen. Not fake listen. Not stare at their forehead while mentally preparing your next sentence. Listen. Notice details. If they say, I loved Kyoto because it was quiet, don't respond with, yeah, Japan is cool. Ask, what did you like about the quiet? Now you're going somewhere. You are creating a conversation instead of exchanging information. And this is where a lot of people screw up. They think charisma means talking more. It doesn't. Sometimes charisma means knowing when to shut the hell up. The person who can make someone feel genuinely heard can be more magnetic than the person who tells 20 stories in 5 minutes. Research on active listening supports this. Experimental work has found that signals of active listening can increase perceived listening and encourage greater self-disclosure. That's important. Because here's the secret. People remember how they felt around you. You don't need to make every person laugh. You don't need to tell the funniest story. You don't need to prove you're rich. You don't need to announce your achievements like you're accepting an award. Make them feel understood. Make them feel interesting. Make them feel like they weren't invisible for the 10 minutes they were talking to you. That's charisma. And there's another trick. Use people's names naturally, not every 6 seconds. Don't become a malfunctioning salesperson. John? How are you, John? John? That's interesting, John. Jesus Christ. Relax. Just use their name naturally when appropriate. Because names matter. They personalize the interaction. And remember people's details. If someone tells you their exam is next Tuesday, ask them about it later. If someone says their mother is visiting, ask how the visit went. If someone tells you they're starting a business, ask how it's going. You know what that communicates? I actually listened. And in a world where everybody is staring at a phone while pretending to listen, that's rare. You don't need some insane personality. You need attention. Put your phone away. Look at people. Listen. Ask follow-up questions. Be curious. That's step 1. And if you're thinking, but I'm shy, fine, then be shy and do it anyway. Confidence doesn't come before action. A lot of the time, confidence comes because of repeated action. You talk to people. You survive. You talk again. You survive again. Eventually, your brain realizes, oh, we're not dying. And then you improve. 2, control your body before you try to control the room. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Before people understand your words, they're already experiencing your presence. You're communicating before you speak. Your posture, your facial expression, your pace, your gestures, your eye contact, your voice, your breathing. All of it sends signals. And no, this does not mean that some stupid formula says communication is 7% words, 38% tone, 55% body language. That famous 7-38-55 claim is wildly overgeneralized. The original Moravian research concerns situations where verbal and nonverbal signals conflict, not every conversation you've ever had. So don't walk around thinking words don't matter. Words absolutely matter. But your body still matters. Imagine 2 people walking into a room. Person A, head down, shoulders rounded, walking quickly, looking around nervously, hands constantly moving, voice quiet. Every sentence ends like a question. Hey, how are you? Person B walks at a normal pace, shoulders relaxed, head up, makes comfortable eye contact, speaks clearly, doesn't rush, smiles when appropriate. Who seems more confident? You already know. And here's something important. Confidence isn't the same thing as trying to look intimidating. A lot of insecure people confuse confidence with aggression. They puff their chest out, stare too hard, talk too loudly, never smile. They look like they're preparing to fight a vending machine. That's not charisma. That's unresolved emotional paperwork. Real confidence looks relaxed. You don't need to dominate every room. You need to be comfortable occupying space in it. Stand upright. Relax your shoulders. Keep your hands visible. Don't constantly touch your face. Don't bounce your leg like you're trying to generate electricity. When you speak, slow down, not ridiculously. Just enough that your words don't sound like they're escaping a burning building. Think about how people behave when they're nervous. They rush. Their breathing becomes shallow. Their voice changes. They over-explain. They laugh at things that weren't jokes. They apologize constantly. Sorry, stop apologizing for existing. If you made a mistake, apologize. If you bumped into someone, apologize. If you actually did something wrong, apologize. But don't walk around saying sorry because you occupied 3 square feet of oxygen. Now let's talk about eye contact. Eye contact is useful, but staring at someone for 30 seconds without blinking is not. That's not confidence. That's a hostage negotiation. Make eye contact while listening. Look away naturally. Come back. When you're speaking, look at people. Don't stare at the floor. Don't stare at the ceiling like God is giving you subtitles. Don't constantly look around the room searching for someone more important. If you're talking to someone, be there. That's the point. And your facial expression matters too. A relaxed face is approachable. A genuine smile can help. Research has examined the relationship between facial happiness and perceived trustworthiness, finding that the way the eyes and mouth combine in a smile influences how trustworthy a person appears. But don't fake a giant grin every time someone speaks. That's creepy. You don't need to smile like you've just won the lottery. Smile when something is funny. Smile when you're greeting someone. Smile when you're genuinely pleased. Your goal isn't to perform happiness. Your goal is to be emotionally responsive. If someone tells you something exciting, that's awesome. Look excited. If someone tells you something sad, that's rough. Show that you understand. Charisma has emotional range. And then, there's your voice. You don't need to manufacture some deep movie trailer voice. That's ridiculous. You just need clarity. Speak from your breath. Don't mumble. Finish your sentences. Pause. Silence is not your enemy. This is one of the biggest things nervous people don't understand. They think every silence means, oh God, say something. No, a 2-second pause is not the apocalypse. Take your time. Think, then speak. That pause can actually make you look more deliberate. And researchers studying charismatic communication have identified animated voice, facial expression, and gestures among the nonverbal tactics that can enhance perceived charisma. So don't stand like a statue. Use your hands naturally. Change your vocal energy. Tell a story with expression. If something is hilarious, let yourself laugh. If something matters, let your voice show that it matters. Your body should support your message, not fight against it. And here's the exercise. For the next 7 days, record yourself speaking for 2 minutes every day. Talk about anything. Your day, something you learned, a story, a goal. Then watch it. Don't judge your face. Study your behavior. Are you rushing? Do you mumble? Do you look down? Do you say every 3 seconds? Do you barely move? Do you look uncomfortable in your own body? Good, now you know. You can't improve what you refuse to observe. And don't get embarrassed. Everyone looks weird on camera at first. That's because you're seeing yourself from the outside. Get used to it. You're training. 3. Develop stories because facts inform, but stories stick. You know what makes someone boring? Not having an interesting life. No, having interesting experiences and describing them like a police report. I went to the gym. Then I went home. Then I ate chicken. Then I watched television. Fantastic. I feel like I just read a government document. You need stories. Not fake stories. Not exaggerated bullshit. Real stories. The embarrassing story. The funny story. The time you screwed up. The time you nearly missed a flight. The weird guy you met. The business that failed. The job interview that went horribly. The time you got lost. The time you tried something and looked like an idiot. These are social gold. Why? Because stories create emotion. And charisma is largely about emotional engagement. Researchers studying charismatic communication have specifically identified storytelling, anecdotes, metaphors, contrasts, rhetorical questions, 3-part lists, expressions of moral conviction, and ambitious goals as useful, charismatic communication tactics. Notice something. They aren't saying use complicated vocabulary. They're saying communicate ideas in memorable ways. That's different. You don't need to be Shakespeare. You need to be clear. Imagine someone asks, "What was your first job like?" Boring answer, "It was difficult. My manager was demanding." Story answer, "My first week, I was so terrified of my manager that I spent 40 minutes pretending to understand a spreadsheet I had absolutely no fucking idea how to use." Now you have something. The person can picture it. Maybe they laugh. Then they tell you about their first job. Conversation connection. Another powerful technique is contrast. Instead of, "I was nervous," say, "I walked into that room feeling like a king. 30 seconds later, I was sweating like I'd committed a crime." Now there's imagery. Instead of, "The gym was crowded," say, "The gym was so crowded that every piece of equipment had a waiting list." Again, you're painting. You don't have to become a professional storyteller. Just stop speaking like you're filling out an application form. And here's another trick. Use the rule of 3. People naturally respond well to structured patterns. For example, I wanted 3 things: money, freedom, and enough time to actually enjoy both. Simple, memorable, or I was tired, broke, and completely convinced I knew everything. That's a story waiting to happen. But don't turn every conversation into a TED Talk. This is where people screw up. They learn one communication trick and then abuse it. Now every sentence becomes, "Let me tell you a story." No, talk normally. The techniques are tools, not your personality. And humor, use it. But don't become the class clown. There's a difference between being funny and desperately needing everyone to laugh. If you're constantly joking because silence makes you uncomfortable, people eventually realize you're not relaxed. You're performing. Real humor is often observational. Someone arrives 10 minutes late. You say, "Nice of you to join civilization." Someone orders an absurdly complicated coffee. You say, "That's not a coffee. That's a business plan." Someone says, "I've been waking up at 5 a.m. You say, "Congratulations. You're now awake before the sun and still somehow tired." Small humor. Natural, don't insult people constantly, especially strangers. And don't confuse cruelty with confidence. Making someone else feel small doesn't make you charismatic. It makes you an asshole. Sometimes funny. Still an asshole. Charisma is not about humiliating people. It's about creating energy. Now here's a challenge. Every night for the next 30 days, write down 3 things that happened that day. Not 3 accomplishments. 3 moments. Something funny. Something frustrating. Something surprising. Something embarrassing. Something you learned. Something someone said. After 30 days, you'll have 90 observations. And you'll start noticing something. Your life was never actually boring. You were just not paying attention. That's huge. Because charismatic people aren't necessarily living some cinematic life. They notice the cinematic parts of ordinary life. The waiter says something funny. The bus breaks down. Your friend makes a ridiculous mistake. Your boss sends a bizarre email. Your dog steals something. Your neighbor has an argument with a delivery driver. Life is full of material. You just have to notice it. 4. Build real confidence by becoming competent. Now we get to the part people don't want to hear. You cannot bullshit your way into genuine confidence forever. You can fake posture. You can fake a smile. You can learn conversation techniques. You can improve your storytelling. But underneath all of it, you need substance. Because real confidence comes from evidence. You trust yourself because you've seen yourself do difficult things. That's different from standing in front of a mirror saying, "I'm a fucking beast." Then spending 5 hours scrolling through your phone. No. Confidence is earned. You want confidence? Keep promises to yourself. Train, study, work, build something. Learn a skill. Become useful. Do uncomfortable things. Finish what you start. If you say you're going to wake up at 7, wake up at 7. If you say you're going to train 3 times a week, train. If you say you're going to learn public speaking, practice speaking. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're collecting evidence. I'm someone who does what I say. That's confidence. and it changes how you behave socially. Because when you know you've built competence, you don't need to prove it every 5 minutes. This connects directly with research on social perception. Psychologists have repeatedly identified warmth and competence as fundamental dimensions people use when evaluating others. Warmth includes qualities such as friendliness and trustworthiness. Competence includes qualities such as capability and effectiveness. Think about that. Warmth, competence, you need both. If you're warm but completely incompetent, people may like you but not trust you with responsibility. If you're competent but cold, people may respect you but not want you around. You want, this person knows what they're doing and I like being around them. That's powerful. And competence doesn't mean knowing everything. Actually, one of the least charismatic things you can do is pretend to know everything. Someone asks you a question. You don't know. Say, I don't know. That's it. You didn't die. You don't need to invent a scientific explanation involving quantum physics and testosterone. Say, I don't know, but I'll find out. That's confidence. Insecurity says, I know everything. Confidence says, I don't know everything. And I'm comfortable with that. And here's something else. Become good at something. Really good. Pick a domain. Fitness, writing, programming, sales, cooking, photography, business, music, public speaking, a language, martial arts, whatever. Become competent. Because when you've spent hundreds of hours becoming good at something, you naturally develop stories, knowledge, opinions, and experiences. You become interesting because you've done things. And doing things is one of the easiest ways to develop charisma. If your entire life is, wake up. Phone, school/work. Phone, Netflix, phone, sleep, repeat. What stories do you expect your personality to magically produce? You can't have an adventurous personality while living an entirely passive life. Go places. Talk to strangers. Try things. Fail, travel if you can. Join a club. Take a class. Volunteer. Play a sport. Give a presentation. Start a project. Ask someone a question. Go to an event alone. Do something that makes your heart beat faster. Not because you're trying to manufacture an Instagram personality, because you're collecting experiences. And experiences create confidence. There is also a fascinating caution here. Charisma isn't automatically good. Research on charismatic leadership has found associations with positive outcomes, but the literature also shows that the strength and consequences of charisma depend on context and measurement. A meta-analysis found that charisma's relationship with individual-level effectiveness can be considerably weaker than popular portrayals suggest. So don't worship charisma. Use it responsibly. Charisma should make you more capable of connecting with people, not more capable of manipulating them. There's a massive difference. A charismatic person can influence people. A trustworthy charismatic person uses that influence without exploiting people. That's the standard. 5. Stop seeking approval. Develop a point of view now. We reach the part that separates someone who's merely pleasant from someone people actually remember. Have opinions. Not stupid opinions just for attention. Actual opinions. Know what you believe. Know what you value. Know what you want. Know what you won't tolerate. Because if you agree with everyone, eventually nobody knows who the hell you are. Someone, I love this movie. You, yeah, me too. Someone else, I hate this movie. You, yeah, actually I see that too. Someone, this restaurant is amazing. You, absolutely. Someone, this restaurant sucks. You, honestly, yeah, who are you? You're not a person. You're a human-shaped agreement button. And people can feel that. Charisma requires a center. You don't need to be controversial. You need to be real. If you like something, say you like it. If you don't, say, not really my thing. That's enough. You don't have to launch a courtroom trial. If someone disagrees, fair enough. I see it differently. Done. Confidence doesn't require everyone to agree with you. In fact, one of the biggest signs of insecurity is desperately needing agreement. Think about a child. They say, I love dinosaurs. You say, I don't like dinosaurs. They don't immediately collapse. They say, well, I do, and go back to playing. Somewhere along the way, adults become terrified of disagreement. Why? because we're afraid disagreement means rejection. But disagreement is normal. You can like different music, different food, different political ideas, different hobbies, different lifestyles. You can still have a conversation. And this is where your values matter. Ask yourself, what do I actually care about? Family, freedom, achievement, loyalty, adventure, discipline, creativity, knowledge, kindness, excellence. Pick your principles, then live them. Because the strongest form of charisma is congruence. Your words match your actions. You say you value discipline, and you practice discipline. You say you value kindness, and you're kind when nobody is watching. You say you value excellence, and you do the boring work. You say you value honesty, and you tell the truth when lying would be easier. That's presence. That's substance. And when someone has that, you can feel it. They don't need to announce, I am a high-value man. They just behave like someone with standards. They don't need to scream, I don't need validation. They simply don't chase it. And here's the irony. The less desperately you need approval, the more socially free you become. You can joke. You can disagree. You can approach people. You can ask questions. You can speak your mind. You can make mistakes, because your entire identity isn't dependent on whether someone laughed at your joke. That's freedom.